My power rankings for week 9. Kind of a hard week to do power rankings because there's going to be a lot of changes you'll see. And also at the same time, every single team on the list either won or had a bye. So, like, how much can you rearrange? So, it's basically like, what did I see in the win that made me like them? I think the most notable teams I don't have on, no one really has on the Chargers, but I would not be surprised if they get added next week. And then I still don't have the Broncos on. It's still the same 10 teams. Obviously, they played a really great game, but I just don't know. I can't get some of the earlier games from the season out of my head, and I don't want to totally overreact to, destroying the Cowboys defense, but, also don't be surprised if they're on my list next week. But yeah, number 10, I have the Seahawks down 4 on a bye. Just one of those things where every other team in the list won, and it's like, how good did they play against the Texans last time I saw them? Like maybe I was being too loyal to what I thought earlier. So yeah, still in the top 10. I don't feel comfortable taking them out. A lot of people have the Broncos on this list instead of them. That's like the main addition I've seen on other power rankings. But yeah, I still have them on. For 9, I have the Patriots also down a spot. Not even because they did anything wrong. They look amazing, but I can't see them beating any of the teams ahead. Or maybe it's a toss-up for some of them, but man, I feel like all these teams are top 5. I don't even know. Like, the Patriots are incredible. I really like them this year, but yeah, I only got them at 9. Amazing win, though. I mean, Drake May slashing up that Browns defense was impressive. 8, I have the Rams also down a spot. I guess you're noticing a trend because I definitely moved the team up a lot after a game. But, the Rams, just like the Seahawks, they were on bye this week. I mean, there could be a top 5 team. It's just hard to tell. There's so many good teams this year. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a harder year to make the top 10 than usual. Like, it feels like all these teams could easily make the championship game for their conference. Packers at 7. So Packers I had to move up. Their record is really good. They're one of the only teams with one loss. They lead the NFC, and Jordan Love looked amazing against a pretty good Steelers team, the highest paid defense in the league. Like, I had to move them up. So they're going to be the reason why a bunch of these teams moved down. A lot of people have them way higher, like top 3. Not me. I don't fully buy into it completely after those really close games to like the Bengals. They lost to the Browns. They almost lost to the Cardinals. Like, that's a bit much for me. On paper, they're a top 3 team. On paper, I had them 1 before the season started, but I don't know. I think 7 is pretty reasonable for like how these games went and like what their record could be versus what it is. The Eagles are another team I have moving way up. Them, on the other hand, like, they could easily go back to the Super Bowl, I think, if they start cooking and getting stuff right. Their only problem earlier was like weird lack of chemistry. Like there's no reason they shouldn't be top 5, and I cannot possibly have them any lower than this. Yeah, I don't know. They look great. The Eagles look really good. Saquon was tearing it up. If he's back to last season's form, this is a scary team to play, which I hate to say as a Giants fan. Number 5, I got the Buccaneers moving down. A lot of people have them moving down a lot lower. I don't want to overreact that much. They were 1 not too long ago, unanimously pretty much. But, I mean, they blew out the Saints, but Baker didn't have an amazing game. A lot of it was the defense against basically a rookie quarterback and a really rookie quarterback. But I still think they're top 5. I don't want to punish them too much for that game. They're still the Buccaneers. The Bills, I haven't moved. They destroyed the Panthers. A lot of people are really low on the Bills. I'm not one of them. When Josh Allen's back in the AFC Championship, people shouldn't be surprised. As long as they have Josh Allen, it's really hard for me to take them out of the top 5. So I got them staying at 4 like they've been the last couple weeks. The Lions moved down 1 spot, and you guys will see why soon. I still think they're incredible, but it's just I still think they would lose to the 2 teams ahead of them. I don't know. I think they would. The Colts are my number 2, which I never thought I'd say with Daniel Jones after watching him for a couple of years, but they are the real deal. How many weeks in a row do they have to blow out a team and score 40-plus points and punt like once before people realize that this team's legit? This team's really legit. I saw a comparison to last year's Vikings, and I don't really agree. Like, maybe Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are kind of similar in the way they came out of nowhere. But the offensive line of this team and and Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, like they're just pieces are too. I feel like what they do feels more replicable than Sam Darnold. Like it's not even like Daniel Jones is doing ridiculous stuff. He's just managing really well an offense that just beats you too many ways. I just think they're too talented. And then number one, I have the Chiefs again. I think they're the best team. Not much to say. I mean, they just look incredible, and I'm afraid we're gonna see them make the Super Bowl again probably. But man, it's inevitable. We just got to give in. Here are my tier lists. Okay, Super Bowl contenders are my top 6 you saw. I think these are my favorites to make the Super Bowl. It's a lot bigger than it used to be. I thought it was only a couple before, now it's 6. Yeah, I think it'll be some combination of these 6. If I had to guess now, I'd say Chiefs Lions. I'd feel pretty confident in that, but who knows? I guess we'll see. That would be a crazy story because obviously 95% of America would be rooting for the Lions, and if the Chiefs won that, it would break us. It would break our collective spirits. So I don't even want to think about that. I think the next tier over with the Seahawks, Rams, Packers, Patriots, who are all my top 10, and then Broncos, Chargers, who are close behind. I feel like a top 12 would be more appropriate. These teams feel interchangeable. Maybe the Packers, you could argue, should be up a spot, but I don't know. After some of those games I saw them play, hard to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I think these teams all make the playoffs, and some of them might win a game. It feels like all of them should win a playoff game. They're so good, but I don't know. I don't think they're quite contenders yet. I think they're great though. And then the next tier down, you see one and done teams who I think could make the playoffs, except maybe the Steelers. I don't fully buy that they'll win that division anymore. The teams that I think can make the playoffs, but if they do, they're not winning a game. I don't think any of them can match up well or could be a team above them. I say as definitely some of them have, but I'm not going to try to figure out who did what. But yeah, I mean, I would not pick them to win a game. Still fighting below. These are teams I think could make the playoffs. You'll see the Bears back down there. Oh, and the Texans are one and done. I think they could make it. I think that'd be a fun story because I think they were 0-3. That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, I don't think these teams are eliminated yet. In fact, I think the Cowboys can make a push. The Ravens can make a push. The Bears maybe. Falcons maybe less so. But, these teams could still make it. I don't think they'll win a playoff game. Except if the Ravens get hot and make the playoffs, they probably will win a playoff game. Because at that point, they'd have to win a gazillion in a row and would obviously be a top 5 team at that point. You got the flashes of something. These teams aren't horrible. Well, they are horrible, but there's flashes. You got some optimism going into next year as a Giants fan. We got Jackson Dart. The season's over. I mean, we lost Kim Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors. It's depressing, but there's flashes for next year. I'm pretty hyped. Obviously, the Vikings, you had that one quarter with J.J. McCarthy, so who knows, right? Next year, maybe he'll be good. That's all you got is flashes. Looking toward the draft. You're looking toward the draft. You're looking up when's the draft. Let me see a way too early mock draft. Maybe we could draft a quarterback or something. Unless you're the Titans, you're definitely not drafting a quarterback, and you're just praying you get a good head coach for once, because you're regretting letting Mike Vrabel walk. Here are my picks for this week. So last week we went 3-2, so that brings us to 5-5. I am now just as good of a predictor as a coin flip, and not slightly worse than a coin flip. Number 1, Baltimore -7.5 versus Miami. I think this screams blowout. I mean, even if Tua looks as good as he did last week and throws for 4 touchdowns, I think the Ravens could score 45. It's just not a good Miami defense, and Lamar's back, and he's pissed. And I don't know. I feel like I've seen enough Lamar Jackson games to know that he's probably going to have 50 fantasy points. It just feels very inevitable to me. I could be wrong about this one, but I don't know. That Ravens defense was looking pretty good recently, despite all the woes early on. And then I'm going to pick this game again. I think it'll have over 50.5 for the same reason I just said. I think if the Ravens are going to score in the high 30s like I think will happen, the Miami just needs to score like 14 for this to be over 50, and I think that's probable. I don't know. That's what I think will happen. This was a line I was surprised to see, so that's why I have the Niners winning 2.5 against the Giants. I know the Niners are banged up, but the Giants, I don't know what this offense is going to look like with that Scatterbo, and I feel like this is not a game I feel optimistic about as a Giants fan. So 2.5, I think, is a pretty crazy line. Maybe if it was 4.5, I would stay away from it, but I think this one's pretty safe. but I thought that about everything before, so who knows? I think this game will hit the under. I think it'll be low scoring. These offenses, I mean, the Giants' offense is fun, but it doesn't inspire me so much, especially with how banged up it is. And the Niners are just kind of a shell themselves until they get their healthy people back. And then my last pick is the Colts to win by 3.5 against the Steelers. I've kind of considered the Steelers frauds for a while now. I haven't had them in my top 10, even 2 weeks ago when they only had one loss. I think the Steelers are a buzzsaw. I think this will be like the Chargers game where they win by like 14, and everyone's just like, holy shit, they were unstoppable. So yeah, those are my picks. Yeah, we'll see how they go, and let me know what you think in the comments. Peace out, guys.